Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, Stick Slinging for the Blind as a Bat. Right, first off, don't forget to subscribe, like, share, all the usual stuff, comments, all that sort of thing. Good and bad. If you've got something to say, if you think I'm doing something wrong, please tell me. If I'm doing something good, please tell me. Right, anyway, what are we doing now? Okay, we're going to have a look at buying your first bow, buying your first archery equipment. Now this is for people who may not have any experience of archery whatsoever. So it's going to be really basic, really basic. Best thing to do, have a word with somebody at your archery club. If you've joined, or even phone the retailer that you're going to use. They will be only too willing to help, make recommendations, all that sort of stuff. The problem is with archery, well, it's not a problem. The thing about archery as well is you can spend as little or as much as you like. And initially you won't see much difference in terms of what you're capable of. For instance, you could spend £100 on a bow, or you could spend £1,000 on a bow. And once you get on the shooting line and you start shooting, see virtually no difference whatsoever, because you don't have the ability to match that equipment yet. So what I would suggest is you start off with something basic. Then when you've decided, yeah, okay, I've reached it, gone as far as I can go with that basic stuff, upgrade. It's relatively cheap to do, but archery is a learning curve. Not just in terms of ability to hit the target, but also in terms of ability to draw the bow, in terms of ability to actually hold the bow, the performance of the bow, the standard of everything is a learning curve with archery. It's one of the fun things about it. But anyway, so what we're going to do, I would recommend have a word with somebody in your club. Have a word with lots of people in your club. Look at their gear. Talk to them about the gear they've bought. Have a word with retailers. Have a look online. Go on the archery forum and see what forums and see what they've got to say. But when it comes time to buy your first bow, talk to the retailers. Now, I wouldn't recommend going with Amazon first. Yes, there are some reputable retailers selling through Amazon, but you've got no control over what you get. If you go to the retailer, like I would recommend, in the UK there's lots of them, but I would recommend Quicks and Merlin Archery. Quicks Archery and Merlin Archery. Not because I've got any kind of vested interest, but because these are two retailers I have bought equipment from and never had a problem. And I mean never. I've been using Merlin for years and years and years and never had a problem with anything they've sold me. Anyway, so I would recommend them. Good thing about Merlin especially, Wicks do the same thing, but Merlin actually have a customizable kit that you can put together yourself, and you can spend as little or as much as you want. The basic kit though, you're going to spend around about £100, and which I think, I've bought 3 of them now, one for myself years ago and a couple recently for my kids. They are fantastic value. And that everything you need to get shooting is included. So for 100 to 150 quid, you get everything you need. So first things first, what I'm going to show you now cost about £100. First thing you get, the options I chose, was a bag. Nice big bag from Avalon Archery. Now the bag itself costs about 40 quid. But when you put it together with a kit, it's surprising how much you save. Now the bag itself, good strong bag, but it's a bag, it's for carrying everything. You've got big pouch on the front with little pouches inside, big pouch at the back, you've got shoulder straps on, you've got a carrying handle on it, you get an arrow tube for keeping the arrows in, and you get a bow case for keeping your bow in. And that actually fits inside the bag. So we'll take that out and we'll put the bag to one side. I mean, the bag's nice, but it isn't a bag at the end of the day. You could buy a £10 cheap hold off from Tesco's or Asda or even eBay or something like that, and they'll do the same job. But it's nice to have. The next thing you're going to have to buy, you can't get away from this if you want to do archery, is a bow. Now, I would recommend, there are lots of bows out there. Recurves, horse bows, long bows, flat bows, there's all sorts of bows. But I would recommend, if you're just getting into and you've got no experience of archery, I would recommend an Olympic style recurve or a takedown recurve. So that comes in 3 component parts. The first part, which will be in the bag when you buy it, is the riser. This is the bit you hold on to. That's the bit that goes up there. That's the bit where you're resting your arrow on, you've got your limbs on, things like that. These are really well made. This one is it's a core takedown, this one. So that's the first part. The limbs I got with this one aren't core. They're actually, what was it? I'll pull them out and have a look. Cartel limbs. Now the limbs basically screw onto the riser. Now these are the bits that are going to hold the string. This is what makes the bow. You screw the limb onto the front, there's a cup there, making sure you get it on the right way around, and you screw it down nice and tight. It's rubber mounted, so no need to worry about over tightening. And there you go. And you attach both, and that's your bow. Now the limbs are actually what denotes the strength of bow you're going to be shooting. As a new archer, I would recommend something between 18 and 22 pounds draw weight. Now when you look on the website, it'll say 18 hash mark. That basically denotes the weight of the limbs. So I would recommend something between 18 and 22, plain simply because if you've never drawn a bow before, or if you're relatively inexperienced, if you go to too heavy a bow, you can actually train in faults and mistakes which will make your experience that much more frustrating. Anyway, so there's your limbs. You'd also buy a string. They're not massively expensive, but they are an important part of the archery experience, because if you haven't got a string, you can't fire a bow, you can't fire an arrow, which kind of defeats the object. So there's your string. Now the string you will buy to match the overall length of the bow. This one is a 24-inch riser with limbs that would take it to 70 inches. So these would be 70-inch limbs. So you would buy a 78-inch string. That doesn't mean the string is 70 inches long. It means it's for a 70-inch bow. The other limbs I've got are would make a 66-inch bow. Now if I use these on a short riser, it would make a 60-inch bow. So one set of limbs and two different risers can make 2 different bows. And it changes the power. These ones at 66 are 30 pound at 20 inches. At 60 inch, they're 32 pound at 28 inches. But basics, choose an 18 to 22 pound draw weight. So for those at 66 inches, I would use a 60-inch string. Or if I was shooting them at 60 inches, I'd use a 60-inch string. There you go. So that's all you really know about the strings. I mean, there are lots of other things about thread count, how many threads actually make up the string, because it's not made of a single piece of whatever. But that's all you need to know. Buy the one that matches the length of the bow. Right, next thing you need is arrows. Now, if you buy this kit, you will get 5 arrows. Most of the time, unless you choose otherwise, you will get these fiberglass arrows. These are star 35s. Star 35s or 55s, can't remember which. These are star arrows, the fiberglass. Very, very forgiving. You can shoot these out of virtually any bow up to about 35 pounds in draw weight, and they will perform just fine. They'll get you on the target, and they'll actually get you learning how to shoot. So that's what you get with the kit. Another thing you get with the kit. The next thing that you would get in the kit, which I would say is absolutely essential. Well, there's 2 things. Absolutely essential though. The first thing which I would say is is one of these. It's called a limb saber. Lots of different types, lots of different designs. Basically what you do, when you're pulling the arrows out of the target, wrap them around there, apply a little bit of pressure, and it makes pulling the arrows out of the target so much easier. You would not believe how much benefit you'll get from one of these. They're called limb saber because once you start pulling arrows out, you're exerting so much force you can actually injure yourself. So you want one of them. Next thing after that, you will either need a tab or a shooting glove. I don't seem to be able to find my glove. I use a glove because for years and years and years I shot historic archery, and I just got used to using a glove. I can't really get away with using tabs now. So I tend to use, if I can find it, nope, that's not it. Oh, it is it. It's attached. It's fastened onto some more Velcro. So you'll either choose a glove, such as that, or a tab. Now a tab basically, it's just finger protection. And you would apply that to your fingers, like so, through the loop. And it allows you to wrap your fingers around the string without hurting the ends of your fingers. It also allows for a crisp, clean release of the string. Glove, this one is this is a 4-finger glove. I usually use a 3-finger glove, but again, I don't seem to be able to find it. I don't know where it's gone. It was here a minute ago. Right, but that does exactly the same thing. It protects the ends of my fingers when I'm drawing the bow. Like I said, I prefer a glove, pure and simply because I've just got used to them over the years. The next thing you will probably need if you're a beginner, there's my other glove, is a brace, a bracer. And that basically protects your forearm from the string. Now I can't stand them and I don't use them, and I'm experienced enough now to shoot that I never or very rarely get hit by the string. But when you're first shooting, that string hitting your arm can be quite painful, and it can train in flinching, and so it can spoil your archery experience. Get one of them. Right, after that, that's about it. You can get all of that in that kit. And it'll cost you about £100, believe it or not. You buy them separately, you'll get up to about 150 quid buying all of this separately. But that is absolutely all you need to start shooting and to actually gain enough experience and actually find the experience pleasurable. Once you start looking into things like sights, which as a visually impaired archer, you probably will need. First thing to do is have a word with your club. Your club will have sights for you to try. And the thing about the sights is it's going to be specific to you. You need to find what's going to work for your level of vision in order to, it's as simple as that. You need to find what works. Otherwise, and if you don't try them with your club, you could end up buying 10 sets of sights before you find one that fits you, or 10 elements to go into the sights before you will find one that suits you. So ask her at the club. And they're all universal fitting. They'll just screw on the side of the riser, no matter what kind of riser you have or what kind of sights you use. Balances and things like that you don't need to start with, like balance weights. They all screw onto the riser as well. But that's basically it. That's all you need to get going. Right, so, like I said, share, like, subscribe. Questions and comments in the comments down below. And we shall see you next time for some stick slinging for the blind as a bat. Cheers guys, hope you liked the video, and we shall talk again soon. Bye now.